let's get started. As always, just remember, these are my ideas and you should always trade at your own risk. Okay, so if we look at Aussie dollar Swiss franc, which is a trade we took about 2-3 hours ago, the reason we took it was a very simple break and retest. So initially we see price creating a lower low structure right here. Then we see the 4 hour, which I'm on right now, breaking and closing below that previous lower low structure right there. Okay, so straight away we can start seeing that this market has created a lower low. So the next thing we want the market to do is create an exhaustion, create that lower high before continuing down and creating that new lower low. Best case scenario. Okay, if we look at our entry on the 1 hour, okay, so once I see the 4H break and close below and that lower low being made, I flip to my entry time frame to look for potential entries to increase the probability of my trade. So if we look at this on the 1 hour, we can see that price pushes back to this key level. We have a nice wick rejection, okay, showing that the buyers are being rejected and that the sellers are in control. And then we have this big momentum shift candle or engulfing candle on this key level. Okay, so lots of confluence here. We got lower lows being made, a retest, a wick rejection, an engulfing candle. We got the 4H making bearish structure with new lows. Everything's pointing bearish. Then we enter with a sell stop below the lows of this level, this engulfing candle, pardon me. We get a nice wick rejection, stop above there, and we hit our 1 to 3. We'll move to break even once we hit a 1 to 1, which hopefully we continue on to do. So let's keep going with some of these Aussie dollar pairs. Overall, Aussie dollar is getting absolutely hammered. Not sure why. I guess that for me is unimportant. All I care about is entries, exits, and waiting. Okay, so if we look at this from, sort of a trend perspective, we can clearly see that we are trending down. It doesn't take a genius to see that. We've created new lows over here. So my plan for this is simply to flip to the 1 hour. I can even set an alert here so I don't have to stay on the charts all day. But as soon as I see that alert go off of the 1H pushing back to this key level and some rejections being shown, I can start looking for entries. So what I want to look for on this rejection is, first of all, price creating a wick rejection. And second of all, I want to enter on some sort of bearish engulfing candle. So let's say there's the wick, there's an engulfing candle. I'm going to enter with a sell stop below that level and my stop just above that wick, and I'll target a 1 to 3. Okay, that's if it all plays out perfectly. Obviously, I have no clue what's actually going to happen. That's just the plan. Okay, so if the plan doesn't play out, we're just going to wait. We're not going to trade, and we're just going to relax. Okay, if I don't see this alert, I'm not going to waste my time waiting at the charts all day. Okay, if we look at Aussie dollar, Japanese yen, you'll start seeing that Japanese yen across the board has been pushing bullish at the start of this week. Okay, so we can clearly see this downtrend forming. The next plan from here, or the trade that I'm waiting for, is price to push back to this key level, create that same rejection I was just talking about on the 1 hour, create those wicks, that engulfing candle, and we enter with a sell stop below some sort of engulfing candle, some sort of momentum shift, and we just trade the phase of the market.
If you'd like to get phone and desktop notifications of any trade we take, consider checking out our VIP services in the description below. You'll see our entries, exits, and full breakdowns of each trade. Make sure to use code A1YT at checkout for a major subscriber discount.
Okay, what I mean by that is we have a push phase, price creating a lower low. We have an exhaustion phase, price creating a lower high. We anticipate the end of that exhaustion phase with, things like I mentioned, wick rejections, engulfing candles, and patterns, and we try and find these at the key level, which is the previous lower low. So once we can identify that, we have bearish structure, we have bearish behavior on the 1H, price making new lows, lower highs. We can identify the end of that exhaustion phase and a high probability of price continuing down. Okay, that's all we're doing. Of course, it doesn't mean we're going to win every trade, but it's a high probability. Okay, and that's when combined with good risk management, that's when you start seeing results. Okay, so this is looking really good. Aussie dollar CAD, very similar situation, where if we see the 4H break and close below this previous sort of consolidation area, okay, which is also a previous lower low, which I can quite clearly identify if I flip to the line chart, we just have a price potentially creating a new low, okay. The thing is, I need to wait for this 4H to close, okay. It's just one of my rules. The reason being is, if we look at this, okay, there is still about 2 hours left in this 4H candle. There is every chance price is going to create a wick and reject this level, pushing bullish, okay. So I don't want to be caught up in trades where price isn't actually forming new lows, okay. So that's why I have this 4H and I wait for price to create the new low. Now, if we just flip to the line chart, it cannot be more clear, what's happening here. We have a lower low, a lower high, a lower low. What do we want next? Price to make a new lower high, that rejection, new lower low, okay. And obviously, if we flip back to the 1 hour, as price pushes back to this level and we see evidence that price is rejecting this level with those wicks, with those engulfing candles, that's when we start to see, price potentially pushing down. Enter with, some sort of sell position, take the 1 to 3. Obviously it's up to you how you guys want to trade it, the specifics of it, whether you want to take a 1 to 2, 1 to whatever, okay? That's up to you. You should backtest vigorously to try and understand which works best for your particular strategy, because in the end I'm not able to tell you what works best. This is just what works for me, okay? But yeah, setting up really nicely. GBP NZD, here we can clearly start to identify GBP is weak, okay? Because if we look over here, it's clear that Aussie dollar and New Zealand dollar is very weak, okay? Then when we flip to GBP NZD, we can see New Zealand dollar is winning against the British pound, okay? AKA the GBP is getting pushed down. Okay, so clearly we can start seeing that the British pound is very weak, okay? Because the Aussie dollar and New Zealand dollar are getting pushed down by every single pair up here, but New Zealand dollar is stronger than the British pound, okay? So what I want to see in order to take some potential trades here. Again, we have this lower low, lower high structure. I want to see this 4H again break and close below this previous lower low structure over here. Then I can flip to my 1 hour after I know that new low has been made and the overall sentiment and structure of the market is bearish, okay? Once I see that, I flip to my lower time frames. I look for price to push back to this level. Exact same thing. I want to see some weak rejections. I want to see an engulfing candle, and we enter that sell position. If I can actually click it somewhere around here, and the specifics are obviously up to you guys, but it would look something like this, okay? Keep in mind, I'm not trying to take the tightest stop ever, okay? I have the market bias on my side. Hopefully price can continue to push down. If it doesn't, it's absolutely fine. That's why we manage our risk, okay? But don't get too greedy with those stops. There's always a chance price could, create some double tops or something, create some more wicks. You don't have to have the tightest stop, okay? GBP JPY, as I mentioned before, we can clearly start to see some Japanese yen strength. So the plan from here, we've created a new low. We can definitely just start to look for price to push back, create that rejection and that continuation, okay? And again, at this area on the 1 hour or whatever time frame you guys want to enter on, I want to look for those rejections, engulfing candles, patterns like double bottoms and double tops, and in this case, double tops and some weak rejections, okay? I don't know if I already said that. Maybe I did, okay? GBP USD, don't want to talk about. GBP CAD, okay? So I just talked about this, the beauty of this setup, because it is a beautiful setup with my live stream. So if we look over here, let's start with the 4H. Instantly, we can start to see that in the days prior, price is creating a very big little consolidation. Okay, we have a big fake out there, but ultimately price pushes back down. We have more of a consolidation. Then finally we get price breaking and closing below the previous structure. Okay, so as soon as I start seeing that start happening, I can start to realize that we've created a new lower low right here. If I look at the line chart, it's even more clear that, pardon me, we're making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. All we got to do, wait for this lower high, continuation. Okay, so very nice setup, very strong key level. Okay, not only is this, let's flip back to the line chart, is this little structure the previous low over here, it's also a very key level in the market because we can see multiple times price tried to break below this level, but it respected it and pushed back up. Okay, so now that we've got the break and close below this level, I can start to identify that the market is bearish. Okay, if you look at the 1H, a beautiful opportunity, textbook breakout for price to push back here, create those wick rejections and that engulfing candle. Okay, very nice wick rejection would be great, and obviously a nice engulfing candle. Okay, if we don't see it on the first touch, we can definitely just wait for some double tops being formed and the same thing. Okay, but ultimately we want to identify this rejection, put in a safe stop, and then we target our 1 to 3, 1 to 2, new lows, whatever. It's up to you guys. Okay, I'm not here to tell you how your trades should look. I'm just here for some ideas. Okay, USD JPY. So here we can start seeing US dollar strength. Okay, if we look at this, we can see price created a higher high out of this big consolidation zone. So we have price consolidating. Finally, we break out, create a new higher high. Okay, so the next thing we want to look for is price to push back, create an exhaustion. Remember those phases of the market. Then we want to identify the end of this exhaustion and the continuation to create a new high. Okay, and again, you know, this is where we want to profit. This big push phase, not the exhaustion, the big push phase. Okay, so if we look at the 1H on this one for potential entries, it's a bit more complicated. Okay, let me explain why. So if we look at this on the 1 hour, straight away we can start seeing that price has not just broken out, come straight back, and then continued. Okay, in fact, we've created a little double top structure here. Okay, and as soon as we do this, we are no longer creating, you know, new highs, and we don't have bullish behavior. Okay, this is in fact a new downtrend. Okay, so this is a counter trend that has formed. Okay, even though it's not much, you know, when you have a consistent process, you've got to be able to recognize things like this. So let's break this down. We have double top, higher low, higher high. We fail to make new highs, break below that level. This is a lower low. Okay, so the next thing we expect the market to do from this information is continue down. Okay, because we're in a downtrending structure. Even though the 4H is bullish. Okay, so identify the difference. 4H, we create higher high, higher low. 1H, double top, higher low break, new low, lower high, continuation. Okay, so in order to enter this trade, because the 4H is still bullish, we can look for a double bottom. Still want to see some wick rejections. Still want to see that engulfing candle. Nothing changes there. But we just want to see a double bottom to indicate that this sort of, you know, counter trend, intraday trend starts matching with the 4H, which is bullish. Okay, so it's almost, I call it a behavioral flip, but that's fancy words. It's just, you know, price pushing back into an uptrend, rejecting this level, because, you know, we can't just take buys because the price is pushing back to a key level. Okay, nice setup though. CAD JPY, also a very nice setup with CAD strength. You can see we've created a new lower low over here, and you know, I won't go into the details of it because I've said it heaps of times. We just want to come back to this level, create that rejection and that continuation. Okay, on the 1H, this is setting up really nicely to potentially see price pushing down. Okay, Euro AUD, So this one is just a nice little consolidation. We got price pushing about in here. I'm not going to try taking trades here, but if we break and close above this level, we would have created a new high, and I can look for price to continue bullish from there. Okay, if we look at the 1H, this is often quite confusing for many traders about how I trade, but let's say on the 1H, you know, price comes back, creates a rejection. Okay, I won't take the trade unless this 4H has closed below this level. Okay, even if the 1 hour setup is there, I'm not even going to look at it until I see this 4H break and close above the level. Okay, it's just how I trade. Yeah, it's about following a consistent process. Okay, Euro JPY, again, I don't want to mention it too many times, but Japanese yen looking really nice for some continued potential selling opportunities. Okay, Euro GBP is setting up nicely as well. We can see we have a long consolidation, touches, lots of touches, lots of rejections. Then finally we get price breaking and closing above the level. If you look at the 1 hour, we can definitely wait for price to come back to this level, create some wicks, continuation, some sort of an engulfing candle around here, some wick rejections. Okay, if you guys haven't noticed, these little drawings, this is just to represent an engulfing candle, and this is just to represent some wick rejections. Okay, so my trade would end up looking something along the lines of this. I target a 1 to 3. Yeah, very simple, high being made. Okay, Euro Swiss franc is in a big old consolidation, but it is setting up really nicely for some potential continued sells if we break and close below that level. If you guys haven't already subscribed to A1 Trading, please do yourself a favor and do that. They provide amazing, free, genuine content that is really helpful, and they post a lot of different styles of trading, a lot of different traders. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, like the video. It's a great way to support them and show your appreciation.
Interested in seeing our trades live as they happen? By joining the A1 Trading Discord, you'll get a notification every time one of our traders enters a position. Each trade we share comes with an entry price, a stop loss, and most importantly, a full breakdown of why the trade was taken. Learn alongside our experienced traders, join our active chat room, and ask your questions in our coaching webinars. Between our team of active traders, we trade Forex pairs, commodities like gold and oil, crypto, and stocks. By joining the group, you'll be able to keep up with all of it. Sign up today using the link in the description, and don't forget to use our promo code listed below for a special subscriber discount. Thanks for watching, and see you inside.